transparent white on an American Standard. Too much curvature, notes are clear here, the notes get dirty here, and it feels too high. Not enough curvature, and the notes are dirty here, but it feels nice, but no clarity. If you have too much tension on the rod, the neck will pull back, and then you just won't have any tone at all in the first few frets.
Hello everyone, David here, Mix Best TV. Hope you're having a great day. Today I'm here at Eric's guitar shop. Bob Horn, our friend, told me to come here whenever I need something done with my guitar. So today Eric is gonna put new strings on my guitar, thicken strings, and adjust the action and everything else, and we're gonna film all that. Thank you, Eric.
Let's do that. How you doing?
Great.
Nice to see you.
And let's get to it.
You can ask any question that you want during the process, and I'll try to walk you guys through it.
I will bug you. So this, guys, is my new ESP LTD. Actually, people are otherwise gonna get pissed. Viper 400 something, I think it's called, in matte green. And what I need Eric to do today is to mount thicker strings on it. We are actually mounting 068, I think is the thickest one.
68 on the bottom.
Yeah, exactly. And because I'm used to play with baritone guitars, I used to play in a band and I was playing baritone guitars, so I'm used to that, you know, thicker strings and all. But I don't like 7 strings.
It's kind of your hybrid between standard and baritone.
Exactly. I prefer, you know, this scale to the baritone. Mounting this kind of gauge. What adjustments are you think is gonna be needed?
Well, before I cut the strings off, I measured everything so we know where we're starting from. And then I'm just gonna tighten up all the hardware. So by the time we get strings on, we're already halfway done. Okay. So this is a brand new guitar. I played it like 5 times, so it's pretty much out of the box, as you can probably see. But you measured the scale, you measured the action, right? Yep. Okay. And I think after 5 plays, it's a good time to make those adjustments. Okay. So if you play it 5 more times, we'll do it again. Okay, cool. Okay. Now your fingerboard is very dry, so let's clean it up, put some oil on it. I've already adjusted the pegs, the output jack. Once we get up to tension, we'll adjust the truss rod, slot the nut, adjust the intonation, string height, the tailpiece, plug it in, adjust the pickup heights, and then we should be good to go. All right, cool. By the way, don't adjust your guitar every 5 times. That's trying to be a smart ass. So, even though it's only been played 5 times, very close to the fret, there is dirt in the wood. I noticed that the first times that I was playing it, my hands were getting dirty, probably from, I don't know, whatever residue was on the guitar. Even a rubbing compound on the fingerboard will, you know, get on your hands and make your fingers turn black. Okay. So with these strings, the tension is probably gonna be like higher, and we adjust the truss rod to compensate for that. Yeah, you're compensating by using a heavier string, so you're really kind of balancing out the guitar. Okay. So though you are using a heavier string, you're tuning down. Okay. And you're tuning the bottom string down 2 steps, and the rest of the guitar down a full step. So that will help counterbalance what you need to do with the truss, but of course the nut will need to be opened up as well. And by the way, the guitar's going to intonate further back. Baritone is a longer scale as you tune down. The saddles will have to sit back a little bit further as well. So there's a possibility we'll have to turn the bridge around, reslot the saddles if we can't get the intonation that we need. All right, cool. And just so we're using air nibble, and this string, I actually got the pack, the best way for me monetary wise to do this kind of set of strings is to buy a pack and just get rid of the first one. It's less expensive than anything else. So we just get rid of the 58 and we mount. I bought singles of 68 and we replace that. Okay, so we have a wound third on the guitar, right? Sorry? Wound third string? Yeah. Okay. Okay. tailpiece comes up a little bit to alleviate some pressure over the saddles. And before I get it strung up, I already know it needs to come up slightly, so I just ballparked it.
Okay. And you will probably need to work on that to adjust the new gauge, right?
Yes. Yeah, the grooves in the nut are not deep enough or not wide enough for the string. And they will come down a little bit as well.
Okay. So I used to have a couple of guitars back then when I was playing. They had bone. They had that made out of bone. What were your thoughts on it?
As opposed to what you have now?
Yeah.
Well, that's plastic, so
Yeah.
bone is going to be better than plastic. Bone is dense. It transfers vibration to the guitar better. It releases the string better, so there's better tunability, and it looks nice.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's more durable.
Yeah, for sure. Because I had one baritone guitar that just, you know, it just broke. It was the plastic one. It just broke. So that was the first time that I actually got suggested to do it bone.
Yeah, it's a good upgrade, but you know, if you don't need it, I wouldn't spend the money.
Okay.
But if you break it, that's a good time to go
Yeah.
to something a little bit nicer.
So how did you find the guitar? This was like, as we said, out of the box, like the settings and everything for being really out of the box. Fairly cheap guitar. It was like the setup was okay, acceptable.
Setup was okay.
Okay.
I've seen a lot worse. This wasn't really that bad.
Yeah. That was my feeling when I first tried and got it out of the box. It was like, huh, seems like someone actually took the time to like make it decent.
They're very inconsistent, but you could have played some shows with this and you'd have been fine.
Okay. Truss for a time.
Yeah, so we want the neck a little bit straighter. So you put pressure on the truss rod. The strings will pull the neck up, truss rod will pull the neck back. So we're trying to find a balance. You want curvature, but not as much as you had.
Okay. So when you twist it clockwise, what happens?
Clockwise, we put pressure on the truss rod. The truss rod pulls back. It puts pressure in the middle of the neck, pushing it up, and then it comes back and straightens out a little bit. With string tension, over 100 pounds, 120 pounds of string tension, the neck will pull up.
Okay.
So we're trying to find that balance. Too much curvature, notes are clear here, the notes get dirty here, and it feels too high. Not enough curvature, and the notes are dirty here, but it feels nice, but no clarity. If you have too much tension on the rod, the neck will pull back, and then you just won't have any tone at all the first few frets.
That's great info.
And of course, the nut is extremely high because the strings are not sitting in the groove. But if we make that cut before we adjust the tension rod, we're not going to get an accurate setting on the nut. And we'll ballpark the height of the string, again, so we can do the nut correctly. And then we'll come back and do a final adjustment on the bridge saddle.
So I remind you guys, we are Eric's Guitar Shop. If you need any work done and you're in LA, this is the place. They're redoing the grooves to adjust.
So we want maybe, I'm going down to about 22 thousandths of an inch over that first fret. The string is a 14. My file says 12 and 20. So I have to decide, do I want to cut to 20 or do I want to take the 12?
Okay.
And just rock it a little bit until we have maybe 16, 17 thousandths of an inch in the nut. There we go. And then the second string is an 18, so we can go to the 20. So your third, which is an F, is 28/1000ths of an inch, but I'm going to cut to 32. You want to oversize slightly so the string moves through the nut.
Okay.
All right, so the bottom is a 68.
Yep.
So here's the choices. We can go with the 75, which will work, or go with the 60, and like I said, rock the file. I still haven't decided what I want to do. I'm going to go with the 75. Now, if you're to put standard strings back in this nut, good chance you're going to have to make a new one.
Yeah.
And we'll make it out of bone.
You do custom build too?
I try to discourage that. I used to do a lot of it, but I just have too much business to do that and make less money.
Yeah. I imagine it's very time consuming.
I have a few right now that I'm working on, but I really try to tell people no.
Yeah.
And that's not my thing. I'm not that guy.
Yeah. What are like the most common problems that you get when you get guitars to be fixed?
Headstocks break off the Gibsons a lot.
Oh.
I have a guitar right behind me, that Del Rey, where the whole fingerboard just came off because the glue's dried up.
Okay.
Loose braces, cracks in tops, worn out frets,
And
installations, electronics, bridges.
So is like Gibson the most common to have this problem, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if it's a mahogany neck and it tilts back, it's susceptible to breaking off. We talked about string tension. If you have about 120 pounds of string tension on a soft piece of wood at a very thin, stressful part of that neck, and it falls over, even if it doesn't take a huge impact, just that sudden shift in momentum does enough to break the neck. If there's no strings on it, probably 1% of the broken necks would break, but under string tension, they don't hold up.
Yeah.
So we're going for more of a medium string height. For David. David likes to shred with medium strings.
I literally have just my right hand for rhythmic, and that's it.
So the tone of that string is slightly sharp. So we'll pull the saddle back, making the length of the string between the 12th fret and the saddle a little bit longer.
All right, explain to the audience that. That is interesting. I know what it does, but just for our audience. So those at the bridge right there.
Yeah. So there's 6 saddles, there's 6 strings. Each one of those saddles is adjustable, so we can move it back and forth to get any tone that we want within the range that we can move it within. So adjusting the pitch of the string to match the open tone at the octave gets the most amount of notes in tune.
Right.
It's not going to make every chord or every note in tune, but unless you have a tempered tuning system, which will go to a little bit more of a detailed tuning, this is what we get.
Okay. So that's an important thing. I think many guitar player, at least beginners, don't really know about intonation. They're more like, oh, if the strings when I play like free is in tune, that's gonna be okay. But no, the octave, the 12th fret needs to be the same note, and if that's off, your guitar is pretty much always gonna feel like it's out of tune.
Well, yeah, even when you're in tune and you're playing notes, they're just not gonna be quite right. And the further up the neck you move, the worse it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Towards the nut, really not as bad. You know, it's interesting how I tell my clients, there's the things that I can help you with, which is intonation and the height of the string, which will affect intonation. And then of course, you know, just the design of the instrument. It's not allowed to play in tune everywhere on the guitar. And then guys, they'll play too hard, they'll hit too hard. And that causes problems as well. I can't help you with that. I didn't design the guitar, So this is what we can work with. Guys will get the Evertune system, which is great. And even if the intonation's off, even if they're hitting too hard, it plays perfectly in tune everywhere, or at least they think that it does. And that tells us how much of a factor the guy playing the guitar is in terms of the guitar sounding out of tune. Because even though we might have a guitar that's not intonated correctly, but it sounds perfectly in tune because of the Evertune system, the only thing that eliminated is poor technique.
Yeah.
So if we can eliminate the poor technique, you know, the things that I'm doing are really not as important.
Yeah, it makes sense. I back then I stopped playing like years ago, but when I started down tuning my guitar and mounting thicker strings, I noticed that especially the thicker strings, the harder you push them against the frets, and the more out of tune they were sounding.
Oh yeah.
It was very obvious with this kind of gauge.
Well, you look at guys that hit real hard, and when you do that, the string doesn't move naturally.
Yeah.
And if it's moving in an erratic pattern, it's just going to sound out of tune no matter what.
Yeah.
Setup where I decide that I'm going to use a screwdriver that is more suited to do what I'm doing.
So we're pulling, adjusting the cells.
Let's try this one. So with a thicker string and a lower tuning, if the guitar was intonated otherwise, it'll then be sharp.
Okay.
And that's kind of what we're experiencing now.
So if you move the cell towards the headstock, what happens at the intonation, and what happens if you move it towards the bridge?
Well, you shorten the length of the string and the notes are going to be sharper. So if I'm looking at the tuner and I hit the open tone and I'm in tune and I play the octave, and that note is flat, we'll want to move the saddle towards the headstock.
Right. And of course, as you can imagine, I was thinking about also changing pickups.
You know, we talked about that plastic nut transferring vibration or energy to the guitar. Well, that affects the sound too. Soft bridges, you know, a lot of zinc or aluminum in bridges will make that point of contact weak, and you'll lose sustain, rich tone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of upgrade parts that you can buy. You go into the magazines or you look online, and there's upgrades for everything. And why would you upgrade if it didn't make a difference?
Yeah, of course.
So everything matters.
And it's a matter of how the sound and the strings vibrates against the body and all the point of contacts. If there's somewhat a leak, you can say it's never good.
Well, yeah, it's a weakness. But it's not like, you know, you have a bad bridge and therefore everything's shot. It's just one element of the whole.
Right.
And that's why guys will get a guitar, even very expensive Les Pauls, and they'll put in longer tailpiece studs. They'll upgrade bridges to titanium or harder steels.
Right.
On a very expensive guitar. Upgrade pots, pickups, all kinds of stuff. All right, internet people, so I have an employee. We close at 6, but he's gonna leave right now.
I don't care about rules. Rules don't care about me. Don't apply. Have a good one.
Get a good look at him. Remember what he looks like, because if he's out there in the field looking for work, he leaves early.
Want to say hi to Mitch TV?
What's up? I just got fired. You guys have a good one. All right? Good day. Bye.
Feel better. Someone who's off at 5:30 and it's 5:35 is standing right over there.
Here we go.
So
we got all the team on camera today. What's the overall state of quality for, like we talked about Gibson, for all the big brands out there? What's your experience with new out-of-the-box guitars?
Yours was good. It's really all over the place. Overall, I think guitars out of the box are good because the build quality is better than it used to be.
Oh, so it is better?
Absolutely, it's a lot better. Everything's automated now, and guitars are made very well.
Yeah.
So it probably needs less attention before it gets put in the box and sent out.
Right.
That doesn't mean that people that are working on them before they get put in the box are doing a great job.
Yeah.
But the woods that are being cut, the channels that are cut for the bindings, the way the hardware is installed is mostly automated now. So you don't get guitars where the bridge is in the wrong place or the neck alignment is off.
All right.
So I think probably more than ever guitar manufacturing is better than it ever has been.
Awesome.
So it's great. Everything is cool.
I personally was pretty impressed with this one out of the box. It was like nice.
I've seen worse.
Yeah.
All right, so we brought that tailpiece up just a little bit, anticipating that's going to have to come up, and I want to come up just a little bit more. If you have too much downward pressure on the saddles, you'll burr the saddles quickly. That can break strings. They'll wear out prematurely. The bridge itself is only supported on the outside, so the bridge can collapse or sink over time. Having less string pressure on that point will give you more longevity. And assuming David likes where we are, the playability adjustments are done, but we're going to plug it in and make sure that the pickup heights are well balanced.
Okay. So, tell me what are the variations in pickup heights, how that works for, you know, put in layman terms.
The most influential pickup in terms of it affecting the string movement is the neck pickup.
Okay.
So I'll adjust the neck pickup, get it as close as I can to the string before it interferes with the way the string moves, and then match the back to the front.
Okay.
If you had single coils in a humbucker, I don't really want to match those up because you're going to end up with the humbucking set too low and it's not going to sound very good. So that will always, at least in my opinion, be louder than the others. If the pots are dirty, we'll clean them out. He's got a push-pull, which is going to split the pickups.
Yeah.
When these knobs are on 10, I can't see the set screw. I like seeing the set screw when it's on 10 because if you're playing and you can see the set screw, you know you're still on 10. So we'll readjust those as well. This is loose. That shouldn't be loose. We'll tighten that up. The switch is coming down kind of at an angle, which is really comfortable if you're playing.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that angle, readjust these, get the pickup height set. I'm going to guess right now if I were to plug it in that this pickup is going to be louder than this one just by what I'm looking at. So there's your rear, there's your front.
You're right.
Rear,
A lot louder.
a lot louder.
A lot
So
louder.
obviously that's not cool. So now we should be a little bit closer. Closer, right?
Yeah, definitely.
People putting it together, and I loved what Depeche Mode did. I thought they were fantastic.
These pickups probably have a ceramic magnet, which have more pull than Alnico, so we got to be careful. You don't want to get too close.
I've always preferred Alnico pickups. I don't know why. Even if I always used to play like high gain and distorted sounds, I always loved.
Yeah, Alnico has a warmer tone.
Yeah,
Ceramic is a little more bitey, more aggressive.
but also I don't know. I always found, especially with just high gain distortion, a little more harsh than Alnico.
You know, amplifiers now are so much more versatile and they break up a lot tighter than they used to.
Definitely.
So those dudes who would play with high gain pickups aren't really playing with high gain pickups anymore. Or ceramic magnets. Everyone's kind of moving back to more of a vintage style pickup. Okay, so now when I'm on 10, those set screws are looking at me. Cool. Let's give it a final tune. Play all the tones on the guitar. Make sure that there's nothing fretting out.
Or just making
Very
sure
clean.
that there's no, the strings are not rubbing against the frets when you play.
Nope.
What if one or two frets are, you know, are a little bit higher, you're gonna file them? You would file them?
We'll make more money because now we're gonna do a repair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll level them all down. The problem is the tolerance between one fret and another have to really be within a few thousandths of an inch.
Okay.
So if we were to try to like shave one fret down, it's gonna be very difficult to match it to the others. So the correct way to do it is take a leveling bar and mill all the frets. We can concentrate in one area over the other, but if the leveling bar passes over a fret, we have to recrown it, sand it, and buff it.
All right. And this was pretty clean, you said, right?
Yeah, actually it looked good. I kind of went through them a little bit quick, but I can hear it, and nothing was fretting out.
Awesome.
Get that Viper cover back on. I will admit that that third string in the nut was sticking. So I'm gonna just go through it again. I also want to cut at a greater angle than the string passes through, and that will minimize contact
Okay.
with the nut, which will help keep the guitar in tune.
That's great.
Let's put some lubrication in here.
Change things up a little bit. I thought I'd play a Strokes song that I remember I used to like.
This is what I'm using, by the way.
Okay.
In the mornings.
And is this something that should be applied every now and then?
Yeah, I would do it every time you change strings.
Okay.
And obviously I'm taking a little bit on the corner of a razor blade. I'm just gonna push it in the groove, put the string back, pull the next out, take a tiny little bit, put it in the groove. It'll also make the nut last longer too.
Okay.
Usually more of a tuning issue. Plus the plastic is relatively soft and it grabs the string, causing tuning problems.
All right.
This will help the string move freely through it.
Okay. Makes sense.
But yeah, if it gets really hot, that could be an issue. Okay, let's move into the lounge.
All right.
Hey, there you
Here we
are.
go. So this is Eric's shop, guitar shop lounge, and once your guitar is set up, you can play here, and everything is fine.
This pick's here for you.
All right,
I gave
thank
you
you.
distortion, obviously.
Yeah, I will play it.
Rock, and I'll come check on you if everything's good. All right. I'll polish it up and then we'll be done.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. So David decided he's going to be a difficult client. And he wants the strings lower. We're going to start by making the neck straighter. Bless you. Bless you. We're going to start by making that neck straighter, and it will bring everything down. And if it's still too high for him, we're going to go a little lower on the bridge.
Okay. Because overall, I gotta say, it feels good. It plays great. I could be happy with this. And like you know, Eric asked me how was
He hates it.
how was the stiffness, and I told him that is perfectly good for me. It is a little on the stiff side for probably most guitar players, but like I said, I'm not a refined guitarist, and I'm used to even stiffer with this gauge. So I'm pretty impressed that we get this tension, which is for me actually comfortable to play with.
And
with this gauge.
I've changed my mind. I brought the bridge down a little as well.
Okay,
Okay, so we're at C. Okay.
let's try again.
Try one more time. If
Thank
you want to
you.
go higher or lower, just let me know.
All right.
Okay.
So I just finished playing the guitar after the string high adjustment, and I'm absolutely happy with it. It's perfect.
Finally. Finally.
Eric has been so nice to accommodate my requests. But no, everything is perfect. This guitar plays really nice now. But so yeah, I'm absolutely happy with it. Tension is great. String high is perfectly fine for me. It plays really well.
Yeah.
And it's clean, as you said, all throughout the fretboard. So again,
Great.
guys, we mounted, I actually said that we mounted a 7-string set. I was wrong. There was just a thick 6 strings, I think, that we mounted. And
Yep.
we lose the 58, and I bought a bunch of singles for 68. And we are dropped C, that's the tuning.
Whole step down, bottom string down, 2 full steps.
Yeah. So this was Eric at Eric Guitar Shop, Los Angeles, California. Thank you, Eric, for working on my guitar.
Thank you,
Amazing
David.
job. Great
I
job.
appreciate
It
that.
plays awesome. And guys, again, if you need any guitar work here in LA, that's the place and that's the guy. Want to say bye to Mix Bus TV audience?
Mix Bus TV, thank you for joining us. I appreciate your time. And he's the man.
Thank Eric, thank Bob Horn who sent me there. See you guys next time.
Bye.